Good morning. What a great day it is. I think it's going to be like 45 today. I didn't film yesterday because I just ran to the U-Haul, picked up a U-Haul truck, a Silverado, took that to the lumber yard, which was closed. So then I went to Home Depot, bought 4 rounds of lumber because I obviously couldn't push it all out in one run. Loaded the truck up 4 times. And then drove to camp, unloaded everything. All the regular lumber is at the Deer Junction, the lumber yard. And then all of the platform lumber is right here. So I think I've got everything planned out as far as the cuts I need to make and how everything's gonna go. So I am ready to rock and roll. A little bit later, I'll take you over to the lumber yard so you can see it was quite a bit of lumber. All right, I think I am ready to start. I just had to run down to the campsite because I'd forgotten my speed square and my China marker, both of which I desperately needed at this stage in the game. So I am going to first cut, what do I have here? I'm gonna cut the 12 joists, the 4 end pieces, and then I will not cut the blocking. I think I know what it needs to be cut to, but I'm going to wait until I have the joists in and I can actually measure it just in case my calculations were off. But so half the cuts now, the other half of the blocking later. I'll speed this up for you. So I'm right up against this tree here. I knew that was going to happen. Originally the shed was further forward, and when I moved it back I knew I was going to have to cut that, but I need to cut it now because I'm building the platform. Okay, forgot to turn on the camera again. I know, that's kind of my thing. I cut down those 2 trees that were in the way, and I now have the outside frame done. So, well, technically it's the inside frame because there'll be another board on the outside and another board on the outside, just like the wall tent platform. but I have to measure the studs now, or joists now. And this was a little bit of planning, because unlike with the wall tent, I'm not using boards, pine boards going across. I'm using plywood, which means the joists have to land at 4 feet, dead on center. Otherwise, the plywood would have nothing to land on. So I can't be willy-nilly with the joists. They have to be precise. So the first joist will be shorter because it's measured from the very outside to center, and then from there it'll be 16 inches on center. So I'm going to get it measured out on both sides so I can basically power through this. I'll throw it on fast. Huzzah! All right, so the platform itself is done, except for the blocking. So I'm gonna take a break, have some water, cut the blocking, cut and install the blocking. And once that's done, I just throw the plywood on. Easy peasy. This project's moving right along. So I know the walls are gonna be considerably more difficult. Gosh, I don't think I realized how close to that big tree I put the shed. That was probably not the smartest idea, but yeah, it's too late now. All right, I got ready to cut the blocking. I remembered to turn the camera on, which is good, but I still need my safety goggles or glasses. So I'll be right back. Well, as you can see, blocking is done. And actually, the entire platform itself is done with the exception of the plywood. And yes, that is pretty easy, throwing 3 pieces of plywood on, but there are a lot of screws, and so that'll take a bit of time. It's about 2:10 now, so 2 hours left of sunlight, more than enough, so that's great news. I want to get that on. Even if I didn't screw it on, I'd get it on, and then I'd get the tarp over it to protect it, because the plywood is all-weather plywood, but plywood is never waterproof. So so far it's been a pretty productive day, and I'm excited to have this part done because this wood is the heaviest wood that I'm working with, and so just trying to do anything is like exhausting. So all in all, I'm happy. I'm going to take another little break, and then we'll be back at it with the plywood. What a day. What a weekend. They still haven't taken you over to see the lumber yard, and I might not. I might show you guys another day, like when I start the walls, because you're gonna have to see it at that point. But I'm pretty excited. I got the plywood on, all screwed down. It is weather guard, but I'm gonna put a tarp over, or like a plastic liner, and I brought my stapler to just staple it down. I'll probably leave the plastic on while I build the walls. I'll just build the walls right over it, and then when I'm done, I can cut the plastic right out. That way it'll just be, because the roof won't go on for a while, because you need walls before you build the roof, and then you need the roof before you put a top on. You can tell I'm tired, but I had a great day. The funny thing is, you guys saw I used the level to level the cinder blocks, laser level, and I used this guy to level each of the cinder blocks, but I never actually checked with like a board to make sure that we were level going across and going this way, until literally I was done, and I thought, uh-oh, hope it's level. But it totally is, and both ways. That's crazy. This cinder block does need a couple of rocks. It's tipped a tiny bit that way, probably because of the weight. But that's what happens. They settle a little bit, so I'll jack it up a little bit, resettle the cinder, and then let it back down. But it's great. And that, I think, is going to do it. I got a lot of tools to clean up because I really sprawled, you know, from the nail gun, the chainsaw, circular saw, the glue, 2 speed squares, drill, hammer. I got all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to get most of that stuff cleared. It's 3 o'clock, so perfect time. I can get the tools back to base camp. I might put them in my trunk just because I'll be working up here. Seems silly to bring them all the way down, but we'll see. Thanks for joining me.